Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I'd like to actually dedicate this video to my sister Raje, who is getting married, God willing, on Sunday. You should merit to build a bayis ne'eman b'Yisrael, Eretz Hashem. In this week's Parshas Chukas, the Torah tells us, again, we've mentioned this before, the Torah tells us about the mitzvah of the Parah Aduma, the red cow. And Rashi comments something very interesting. Rashi says that since Satan and the nations of the world taunt the Jewish people and say, what kind of mitzvah is this? Well, what reason would God give for this mitzvah? So our response to them is that it's just statute Hashem gave us, no reason at all. We don't know why we're doing it. It's just a decree from Hashem, and we do it. So the question is twofold. What do we care what the nations of the world are saying? So they're said. So they'll say the same thing about kosher. They'll say the same thing about keeping Shabbos. They'll say the same thing about putting on tefillin. Whatever it is, they can always ask questions. What's the difference? And if we give them a good answer, then they're going to be happy. They're always going to taunt us. What does it mean that the nations of the world are going to taunt us by saying? And second of all, what kind of answer are we giving them? We're going to tell, we don't know the reason. God told us to do it, so we do it. It sounds like we're just blindly following God's word without it actually making sense to us. There should be some modicum of, how is it, even if it would make sense to us, how is that an answer that they're going to accept? So if they're taunting us, what are you guys doing that for? What is it? Oh, because we just do it. That's not going to stop them from taunting us. So what kind of answer? What's the give and take here? So I believe that the answer may be as follows. The nations of the world, they'll taunt us. That's what they're going to do. Because the nations of the world stand for a people that only if it makes sense to them. If it makes sense to them, then they'll do something. Now that's not a religion. And if you'll only do something that makes sense to you, then who do you live for? You live for yourself. So if something is good for you, then you'll do it. If something is not good for you, then you won't do it. There's no God over here. There's no relationship. The fact that you may honor your father or mother because it makes sense to you, then you're doing it for you. And the fact that you're going to tell your children to honor you, it's because it makes sense to you, not because there's any relationship here with God. And so therefore, they'll taunt us and they'll say, why does this make sense? Because that's what they stand for. They stand for a people that only do things that make sense to themselves, not because there's actually any relationship with God. But the Jewish people, what is their response? Their response is, we don't know. It means there's many mitzvahs of Torah that Hashem gives us that we do know the reason for it. But this mitzvah, we don't know. It's a gezerah, it's a decree Hashem, it's a chok. Hashem told us to do it, so we do it. So what kind of answer is that? They're still going to taunt us. The answer is we tell them, our message to them, and really to ourselves then, is that we do a mitzvah because Hashem gave it to us to do. Not because we understand it, we don't know. We have a Father in heaven that loves us immensely, and the fact that we don't understand something is just because we're limited, not that God is limited. We're limited in our understanding. And our response is a universal response to all the mitzvahs that we do. We do it because God told us to do it, and we have a relationship with Him, the capital H. The only way to illustrate that is by doing mitzvahs that we don't understand. And so therefore the nations of the world say, why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense. And they represent things that only make sense to them because they live for themselves. And the Jewish people say, no. We live and everything that we do is only for God. If God gave us a mitzvah to do, who are we to question it? It doesn't make any sense that God should give us a mitzvah to do that we will have some type of harm from it. But it'll always be beneficial from it because it's coming from God. And so therefore, that's our nation. That's our response to the world. We are connected to God. That's our connection. Are you connected? Have a great Shabbos.